Hello, interweb friends. Thidumgamer here with another horror-themed game review for the month of October. This time, want to review the game Gloom. This particular copy is a Gloom of Thrones theme, so a Game of Thrones parody. And because of that, the game does recommend for players ages 14 and up, mainly because of the themes. A lot of the cards are either parodying or highlighting different things in the TV series. So definitely something that this particular edition want to limit it to older people, 14 and up. Other Gloom themes that I've seen, such as Cthulhu Gloom, that you might go with a younger crowd. It's not as adult themed. It's not based on something as adult themed. You might be able to play it with a 9 or 10-year-old. Definitely before you play it with anybody younger, definitely want to take a look at the cards and what's in the game to see if it has themes that are a little too adult for who you're playing with. Other than that, it does recommend about 60 minutes to play, and I happen to agree with that. A typical game does run somewhere around there to about an hour and 15 minutes. And it does say for 2 to 4 players. And my personal opinion on that is go with about 3 to 4 players. If it's just 2 players, it's kind of like playing Uno with 2 players. You're just duking it out between each other. I attack you, you attack me, but it doesn't... It takes away from the fun of the game if it's just a Duke Fest between 2 people. Definitely would recommend 3 to 4, but it can be played with 2. Now, in the game, each player is choosing a family of 5 people. And what they are trying to do is make each member of their family as miserable as possible before they kill them off horribly. And to make them miserable, or to make your opponent's characters happy, you have modifier cards. This one is -30 to happiness, has a crown icon, has a heart icon, and it says discard 1 card from your hand for each heart icon in play, including this one, and you skip your draw phase next turn. A lot of cards have different things that they ask you to do when you play them. And after you've made your character as miserable as you can, you'll go ahead and kill them off, such as drank themselves to death, which is also worth an additional -10 points with the cup icon. Finally, in the deck that you will be dealt from and drawing from, you have event cards. Now, these aren't played on your character, they're just played in general. Do different things like move the top modifier from any living character to another living character. And as you can see, these cards are transparent, and that is so as you play more and more modifiers on cards, they may or may not cover up a modifier from the previous card. And finally, with the death card, you play that, and you can see the points that aren't covered up that the card is worth. One final card that you do have with the Gloom of Thrones edition is the Porcelain Throne. This is a traveling card. Every time a crown modifier is played, this goes to the player that played the most recent crown modifier. If they happen to be in possession of this card at the end of the game, it's worth an additional -30 points. Now, once a player has killed off all their family members, game's over. You tally up points, and whoever has the most miserable or the lowest score wins. One thing that I would definitely recommend to add some levity to the game, because just in general it's kind of depressing. You're making characters unhappy and you're killing them. To add some levity, you might want to make up a story as to why you're playing a certain card on the character. For example, drinking new things. It makes them happy. So, let's say you play that on Josh Frost. He drank new things, so he went drinking with some friends, and he found out that his secret crush liked him. Whatever you want to make up the story, but make up a story as you're playing the cards, kind of add some levity to the game, make it more of a dark humor, a dark twist to it, but make it humorous. Make the game a little bit more palatable, because again, it's kind of a depressing game if you're just making people miserable and killing them. Now, in general review, the game is definitely replayable. It's a card game, so the luck of the draw when you have these cards shuffled up and you draw every time, you're going to have a different game. And what's our family does is when we're making up stories, we just make them more elaborate each time. It's fun for us to do that. As for the age range, as I had mentioned before, this particular edition, definitely want to go 14 and up. Some of the other Gloom editions, take a look at what's in the content. You may find that it's lighthearted enough that you can play with a younger crowd, maybe 9 or 10, but definitely want to take a look at it to make that determination yourself. Gameplay, again, give yourself about an hour. Now, if you play it a lot and you start adding more intricate stories, you might want to add time to that, but an hour is a good average when you first start playing the game. Difficulty, about a 2 to a 3. It's not hard to learn the game. The biggest thing about it is keeping track of the points on your characters before you kill them. Once you've done it for a while, it starts becoming second nature to you when playing the game. But to begin with, it's kind of hard to determine whether or not, hey, do I want to kill him yet, or do I want to hold off? Finally, as I'd mentioned before, it says 2 to 4 players. Definitely can't do more than 4. Don't have enough families in the games. But 2 players tends to be a slugfest. You're just attacking back and forth. Not quite as fun. Definitely, in my opinion, go to 3 to 4 players. But overall, enjoy this game. If you have a dark sense of humor, definitely recommend picking it up and giving it a try. There are multiple versions out there. You might find one that is themed around something you like. But other than that, if you do want to get in contact with me, I do have a Twitter account at Thidumg, or you can send me an email to Thidumgamer@gmail.com. Have any questions for me about the games that I've reviewed or unboxed? If you have any suggestions for games I should try out and maybe review, definitely go ahead and send them there. I will try to reply as quickly as possible. Finally, if you have any suggestions on this game, some different versions of this that you may have tried and played, go ahead and leave a comment in the comments below. If you like the content that I'm presenting, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to. I'm going to be releasing a video a week, usually on Saturday or Sunday, so definitely subscribe and hit that little notification bell if you want to be notified when a new game review or video is released. And finally, contents of the videos. For the month of October, do have a few more horror-themed games that I'm going to review. After that, if you want to see more reviews, let me know. If you want to see some game playthroughs where I sit and play through a game step by step so you can see it played, let me know. And of course, if I get any new games, as long as they're not card games, I'll go ahead and do an unboxing. Card games, well, okay, here I got a deck of cards, so not much into the unboxing, but definitely we'll review those as they come along. And lastly, if you have any friends that you think would like this content, definitely show it to them. I really would like to share some of these games with a lot of people. Some of these are not as common, or were not as common when I really got into gaming, and some of these games are definitely worth taking a look at if people are liking board or card games. But until next time, hopefully next week, have a great week, and I will see you later.